Welcome again, wrestling fans. This is a weekend edition of the following contest. It is 2/27/2011. This weekend, we want to do a different kind of show. We never wanted to comment on the return of Sting with the, like the 2/21/11 Raw. We did a show on last week, but it seems that everyone is just saying how. What are they really saying, Jason? Everyone's copying, or TNA is making this like an Undertaker kind of thing, or
Yeah, they're making it. Basically, they're just TNA fans are saying, "Oh, they're just copying. They just took it out of the WWE's wastebasket. What they just threw away, and they're picking it up and using it." Which is, I mean, it's if you watched it, it's pretty bad. It is.
now. To their credit, I will say this. Even though this is already, I think, our third or fourth time on the show saying no spoilers, especially about this. Sting's return was way bigger than Undertaker's return.
I don't know about that.
A lot more happened. Undertaker didn't even say anything.
He doesn't have to.
Well, no, that's true. But we started talking about the subject, and I think everyone just rags on TNA way too much about copying whatever the WWF is doing right now. And it's not just about Sting and Undertaker and their tune in on the special day at the special time. This has been going on in the wrestling business forever. And I think that there just hasn't been any competition to the WWF in so long. People have forgotten things of the past. So what this show is, basically, we're going to talk about clones, copies, mirrors of each other. I think it's mostly Monday Night War stuff. Would you say so?
That was the only time there was competition.
Right.
That
the
was
last
the only
time
time
there was competition. You're right.
That was the only time that you would see copying and gimmicks being basically going back and forth. And
I agree with the boy. The first thing that came to my mind was Buzzkill. Road Dogg's real life brother. I believe his name was Brian Armstrong. And he would come out doing the same exact thing. The BUZZ kill. Same exact thing. Dreadlocks and, last time we saw Buzzkill before this, he was very, military kind of crew cut, which the Armstrong family is.
kind of like
military.
what his brother was when he first came in as the country singer, Jesse James.
Right. And you saw him sitting on the tank for Desert Storm.
Yeah.
So that's, a big, big thing right there. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Also, we did a little bit of research. China and Medusa, almost or basically at the same time, had the Intercontinental and the WCW Cruiserweight belt. At the same time. They basically looked the same. Hideous women. One was blonde. They were beating men out for the belts. And WCW did that at the same time that the WWF had China with the IC belt. Your thoughts?
I find it pointless for both sides to do that. Especially because I hate Medusa. I hate her. China I was never a fan of.
I just never cared about Medusa, but I hated her when she put the belt in the trash can. And I didn't hate her because of that. I was thinking, wow, you idiot. Why would you just do that?
Well,
Why did you do that?
Look at her now. So
Yeah, no, she regrets it every day, I promise you. Other comparisons we were making, speaking of the Cruiserweight belt. WWF made a Cruiserweight division because of the success it had in WCW. And they brought in Taka Michinoku from Japan. and he was the first light heavyweight champion. And he had that belt for a very, very long time.
Because he had no competition.
No, and then Christian beat him in his debut match. Ain't that some shit?
There was no division. It was just him.
No. So I think WCW wins that one because they had the best cruiserweight division. That they mainly stole from ECW, but that's here or there. Speaking of ECW, both WWF and WCW had hardcore titles. You said you like the WWF hardcore matches better. Is that right?
I do.
Why is that?
It was more spontaneous. It was better matches. They would fight around the arena, outside. It didn't really matter where.
I remember they had one match in an airport.
Yeah, it was the challenge. Bob Holly, beat me wherever you can.
I thought that was Crash Holly.
Whoever, it was one of the Hollies.
One of the Hollies, yeah. Either way, I think both companies lost. They tried to capture that ECW type of spirit, and they were even sometimes using former ECW wrestlers to do these hardcore matches. Like Terry Funk, we would see Raven in them. Actually, when I think WCW hardcore matches, only one person comes to mind. Norman Smiley.
Yeah.
He's the only one that I can think of, really.
But the WCW hardcore matches were just a lot of junk in the ring and just people doing spots. It wasn't really
Going all over the arena.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it was just ECW trying to invade everywhere without even really doing it.
Now, on the subject, you just said invade. That brings me to the next fiasco, if you will, which was the Blue World Order. If you watch ECW One Night Stand, the first One Night Stand, Joey Styles said, no gimmick, never deserved to make money like the BWO did. And they couldn't get because it was a parody. You couldn't do anything over a parody. And it was, who was it? Simon Dean, the Blue Meanie, and
Stevie Richards.
Was it? Yeah, Stevie Richards. And they were the Outsiders and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And they would come out to their song, and I mean, the same thing. Same fucking thing. And they would sell shirts and everything else that had BWO on it.
Yeah, it was blue with the white letters.
Yeah. I think even I was going through like a PWI, I don't know, 10 years ago, way longer, maybe 13 or 14 years ago. And I remember seeing Yoshihiro Tajiri with a BWO shirt in his hand.
Shit.
I guess that was like the Masahiro Chono of the BWO. So, NWO, BWO. Another copied gimmick for a wrestler that I wanted to talk about was Gilbert.
Gilbert,
the biggest jobber. But he had the light heavyweight belt, I think, for like over a year or two, and nobody, again, no competition. It wasn't his fault. Jason, who's someone we were talking about that they spent a whole lot of money on the gimmick and it didn't go anywhere? WCW?
Glacier.
You used to love his entrance. Glacier. Glacier would come out, lights would go out, he would do like a martial arts showcase.
It was cool.
Well,
it was.
I was never a fan of Glacier, but WWF took note when they had Steve Blackman come out and do the same thing. Techno music, the lights would go out. He would come out with basically like these, not kendo sticks, but they would go, and he would do like all these martial art type moves, and this is something that's been going on in the business forever. It will not change. Gimmicks they copied, wrestlers jump ship and still take their own gimmick. It's just something that happens, folks. Tune in for all of our other shows subscribe. We'll see you later.